Welcome back to Rider's Tales number 3, the 1981 Suzuki RM125, the unforgettable little screamer that changed everything. A razor-sharp featherweight weapon from a time when 125s were the wildest bikes on the track. A machine riders still talk about with the kind of passion you normally reserve for first loves. Today, instead of a traditional documentary, we're bringing you the voices of the riders who lived it, the memories, the thrills, the near crashes, the stories that have never faded. Rider Tale number 1. The first real race bike I ever owned, Danny Harper, Arizona. I had a 79 YZ100 before this, and when I jumped on the 81 RM, it felt like a teleport into the future. The power band was like flipping a switch. Nothing. Then suddenly it came alive and pulled like crazy. That bike made me feel like a real racer for the first time. Rider Tale 2. The Carb Tuner's Dream. Phil Wrenchman, Torres, California. People complained about the Mikuni, but once you figured it out, the bike absolutely ripped. I spent hours jetting it, and when it finally clicked, the thing turned into a little yellow rocket. It rewarded you every time you got it right. The backstory, why this particular bike actually mattered. Before we continue, let's talk about why this bike left such a mark. The 1981 RM arrived during an arms race in the 125 class. Suzuki had dominated in the late 70s, but by 1980, Yamaha and Honda were catching up fast. Suzuki needed a response. And they answered with a bike that was lighter, sharper, and meaner than anything they'd built before. It came with a new full-floater rear suspension system that gave the RM class-leading traction and control. The chassis was slim and aggressive, the steering precise, and the engine had that unmistakable high RPM Suzuki scream. It wasn't just fast, it demanded to be ridden hard, and it rewarded the riders who had the courage to keep it pinned. This was a bike built for momentum, aggression, and skill. And for many young racers, it was their first taste of what a true competition 125 felt like. Now, back to the Rider Tales. Rider Tale number 3, the bike that made me brave, Kevin Morris, UK. Schoolboy motocross was brutal back then, but the suspension on the RM125 felt like cheating. Everyone else was bouncing around while mine stayed planted. I started taking lines I never would have tried before. That bike changed me as a rider. Rider Tale number 4, the day it almost launched me to the moon. Speedy, Sal Romero. 1 second the bike was gripping perfectly, and the next the front end lifted into a full, I believe I can fly moment. The power hit early and hard. Somehow it came back down straight and I didn't die. That day taught me respect, because that RM hit the band whenever it damn well wanted to. Rider Tale number 5. My first ever MX bike, Mike Bays, Australia. That 1981 RM started my love affair with dirt bikes. Unfortunately, I spent more time under it than on it, but I still loved it. Now my passion is restoring RMs to their former glory. Rider Tale number 6. The bike my dad sold without asking. Mark Riley, Australia. I came home from school and it was gone. He said we needed the money, but my heart was shattered. I still check classifieds hoping to one day find my old RM again. No other bike has ever meant that much to me. Rider Tale number 7. Everyone wanted a turn. Jason J-Dub, Walker, New York. If you had an 81 RM 125, you never got to ride alone. Every guy at the track wanted a lap on it. They'd bring it back grinning like kids. It was that kind of bike. Rider Tale number 8. The sound that stayed with me forever, Anthony Delgado. That high-rev Suzuki scream is burned into my soul. It didn't sound like the Hondas or the Yamahas. It was sharper, cleaner. When it was on the pipe, it felt alive. Rider Tale number 9. My first trophy, Chad Morgan, Canada. I raced an 81 in 83 and still hole shot guys with newer bikes. That motor had heart. My first trophy came from that bike. I still have it on my shelf. Rider Tale 10, the one I will restore before I die. Chris Nolan. I've restored a lot of bikes, but nothing gives me the nostalgia hit like the 81 RM125. One day I'll find a clean one and bring it back to showroom condition. That's the bike I want to see in my garage when I'm old. Rider Tale 11. The day I learned about clutch plates. Benny Alvarez. I used to ride it like a 250, which is to say, I smoked the clutch to death in under a month. My dad made me split the cases myself as punishment. I learned two things: how to wrench, and that the RM wants high revs, not abuse. Rider Tale number 12. Missed gear, still won the corner. Travis Reed. The RM125 had this magical ability to carry corner speed. I remember blowing a downshift and thinking I was toast, but the bike just carved the corner anyway. It handled like it knew what I wanted better than I did. Rider Tale 13. We all tried to copy it. Cheese shirt. Dave Turner, Michigan. I raced Hondas, but every time we lined up against the RMs, we knew we were in trouble. They had this combination of grunt and handling that was hard to match. My friends and I spent half the season trying to get our bikes to feel like theirs. Rider Tale 14. The bike that got me into racing. Michael Chung. A friend let me try his 81 RM125 behind the school fields. After 10 minutes I told him, that's it, I'm racing next season. That bike changed the entire direction of my life. Rider Tale 15. I'd ride it until the sun went down. Lusher. Greg Hughes. I'd leave the house at noon and ride until I couldn't see the track anymore. That bike never complained, never overheated, never quit. It was the perfect partner for a kid who just wanted to ride. Rider Tale 16. If you know, you know. Jimmy Valdez. I've ridden modern 125s and they're great, but the 81 has a soul nothing today can replicate. If you rode one back then, you understand. If you didn't, I honestly feel a little sorry for you. It should be obvious by now that this bike wasn't just a motorcycle. It was a rite of passage, a teacher, a troublemaker, a friend. Today it lives on through the riders who still remember the rush of keeping it on the pipe, the smell of premix, and the feeling of being young, fearless, and fast. If you enjoyed these rider tales, hit like, share your own memories in the comments, and subscribe for the next episode. This has been Rider's Tales number 3. The 1981 Suzuki RM125, the little screamer that changed everything.